Hello! Back at it for another session of Fridays. I'll just briefly go over the materials for today. So you're going to want, first and foremost, some blank paper. I'm using kind of a sketchbook here. So you're going to want some blank paper. And then you are also going to need some newspaper or some magazine scraps. So what I'm using, I used a newspaper because it's sometimes just a little bit easier to glue down in a way, but either of them work. And then when you get to your newspaper, you want to look for some cool patterns that you might find. So the patterns that I found have a crossword here. You can see there's a sunset on the back. So I found a crossword. In the same place, I found a Sudoku here. And then I found this really kind of cool looking text that I like. It's, black, white, and orange, and I thought it might be cool for some dogs. And then you're also going to want to find one or two really bright colors for the collars of the dogs that we're going to be making. So I found some yellow on this Master Electrician advertisement. And then I also found some green here that I really liked. And with those newspaper scraps, we're going to transform them into some really cute newspaper cut and stick dogs here. So you have your blank paper, and then you have your newspaper scraps, and you also need some scissors. I have these funky scissors here. If you need to, get the help from an adult to cut things out as we go along. Please do if you're too young for that just yet. And then you're also going to want some glue. I have a glue stick here. Another option, if you have it, I don't know if it's like commonly known, but there's some glue tape. Glue tape is really helpful, but it's not always the easiest thing to use. And because these dogs are so small and the collars are small, you're going to want to use probably a glue stick, but whatever you have works too. And then you're going to want a black pen or marker. This is like a pen marker. And pink marker or a pen for the tongue. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And then something that's optional is that you can use some colored pencils at the end to create a scene with your dogs. Maybe they're at the dog park, maybe they are roaming the countryside. Totally up to you. I'll do kind of a guided drawing at the end, I guess. Yeah, so I'll give you guys a couple more minutes to log on and or collect those items that I just went over. So again, in order, you want blank paper, newspaper scraps or magazine scraps, glue, scissors, a black and pink marker or pen, and then it's your choice to use some colored pencils, or you can use markers, honestly. You can also use markers. That's cool too, to create a scene with the dogs. So yeah, I'll give you guys a second to do that, and I'm gonna get myself ready to do some art. I think we'll get started. Don't know if this is a good idea to start without really many people here, but let's just do it, and then you guys can follow along from home if you want. So I can't really cut things with one hand and hold my phone and show you guys. So I'm gonna just do it step by step and show you guys what I'm doing as we go along. So the first thing, we're gonna create a dog that is standing, or maybe it's running or jogging or roaming, I guess. And the first thing we're gonna do, hello to whoever joined us. I'm sorry I can't see who you are. I hope you have your materials ready. If not, just let me know and I can go over what you need again. But I'm just getting right into it right now. So what we're gonna do is take our first pattern. I have this lovely kind of crossword here, and we're gonna create, I'm gonna say a medium-sized rectangle out of our pattern paper that we have here. So I'm gonna cut that out and then I'll hold it up so you guys can see it. But I'm looking at this crossword and I kind of want a good mix of the black and the white squares. So, and you can even use the lines of the crossword to guide you. But let's just cut a nice rectangle. And I'll show you guys in a minute. So I've created this lovely little rectangle like that. And this is going to be the body of our dog. So I'm going to set this down, and then we'll glue it down after. And the next thing that I'm going to do is create a head for my dog. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to create a rectangle like this one, just not as big. And it's going to be the head of our dog. So I'm going to take the same pattern. You can see where I cut it out here. And I'm going to create a slightly smaller rectangle for my dog's head. So I'll do that and then show you guys. So I have this little size head here, and I'll show this to you guys so that you can see. So now I have the body here and I have the head here. So I'm just gonna glue those down. Set you guys back down. I'm gonna glue them down with my glue stick. And you can angle the head. I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm gonna take my glue, take my dog's body, and I'm gonna do some glue on here. Or if you have double-sided tape, you can use that. Or if you have glue tape, that's like this thing here, for scrapbooking, you can use that. So I'm gonna glue down my dog's body, kind of parallel to the sheet of paper that I'm using. And then I'm gonna glue my dog's head. I think I'm gonna do it on a little bit of an angle. So I'll show you guys what that looks like in 1 second. So yeah, so now I've glued down my dog's body here, and then I glued his head on a little bit of an angle. And then pretty much what we're gonna do is we're going to take our black and or pink pen, and we're gonna create some legs. Some legs, a tail, some ears. So I'm gonna start with the ears, I think. So I'm gonna start by drawing some lovely ears. And I think I'm gonna make that a little bit bigger. And I'm gonna do one going kind of the other way. How cute is that? And then I'm gonna give him a nose here. And then I think I'm gonna do 2 eyes right beside his ears there. So he's got 2 eyes, some ears, and a nose too. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give him some legs, and he's just gonna be standing. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm gonna give him some feet too. So you can do some kind of fun squiggles like that. And see how simple this is. So now he's got his body, his head, 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, and 4 cute legs. I think what I'm gonna do is thicken up his legs a little bit so they just don't look so thin. And you can even fill in the feet like that if you'd like. I'm gonna do the same thing right here. Back like that. And then one thing that's missing is that he needs a tail. So I'm gonna make his tail be kind of up. Just draw a nice tail, almost kind of like a really thin banana. And something else that you can do here is you can add some lines to make it look like his tail is wagging. So I'll do that for you guys so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So you can do something kind of like that to make it look like his tail is wagging. So the next thing I think I might do is I'm gonna create another dog. And I'm not gonna use the same pattern, but I'm gonna create, I think I'm gonna do a Shaggy Dog for you guys. Now this would be a really good place if you find a pattern in probably more a magazine than newspaper. If you find something with lots of stripes, or if you find something like a barcode, this would be really good for the Shaggy Dog, because then it already looks kind of like he has that droopy fur hanging down. He's already got some, what is it called, shags? I don't know, going. In my case, I'm just gonna use this Sudoku, and then I will show you how you can kind of modify it. So I'm gonna do the same thing as before. I'm gonna create a larger rectangle and then a smaller rectangle for the head and the body. So I'm gonna cut my larger rectangle first. It's just like this. just like that. And then I'm going to do a smaller rectangle for the head of the dog. I'm going to check and see if that's the right size. Yeah, I think so. So now I've got the head there. And I'm going to glue these down again. And this can be really however you like it. I think I'm going to angle the body almost as if he's kind of coasting downhill for this one. Let me just adjust this. There we go. So almost as if my dog is coasting kind of downhill. So I'm going to glue that down and then I'll show you guys what I mean. So here I have it. I've glued down the body, I've glued down the head, and they're both kind of angled down a little bit. Because I'm going to imagine that my dog is kind of going down a hill at the dog park. So from there, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pretty much create a nice shaggy dog with our black pen or marker. This is a black pen marker pretty much. So I'll take you guys with me and show you what I'm going to do. So first thing, I think I'm going to focus on actually the body this time. And because he's going downhill, I'm going to make sure that his legs are showing that. And since he is so shaggy, we're just going to make his legs kind of like this. Some nice lines. So he's got his two front legs there. And two back legs here. And then we're going to do some stripes here. Give him some fur so you can kind of go like this. And it's okay if you get it on your patterned paper. And you can even bring it up a little bit into the pattern. There we go. So he's coming downhill, and then I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to give him a tail. A nice furry shaggy tail. And I'm going to kind of curve it a little bit like a smiley face with my pen. So I'm going to bring it down and then up a little bit. And I'm going to give him some fur on his tail. I could imagine that if I was a dog with a lot of fur like this guy, I'd be pretty hot out in the summer. So the next thing I'm going to do is do some ears on his head here. So I'm going to make his ears go backwards a little bit and just coming off from the tip of this head here. Give him some nice long ears. And these aren't as shaggy as the rest. I could imagine that if you were a shaggy dog and your ears were full of hair, you wouldn't really be able to hear much. So instead of doing some eyes like this dog we've done here, I'm actually going to give him some really cool bangs. So I'm going to do some fur. Just kind of going like that. And I'll do a nose for him too. And there he is. I'm going to show you guys something that you can do with the pink marker. The pink marker basically you can use to make a tongue for your dog. If he's sticking his tongue out, he might be panting. Again, like I said, this shaggy dog might be really hot if he's at the dog park in the summer. So I'm going to come here and just give him a nice tongue. I think it's going to be sticking out kind of like that. And there he is. We're going to do some collars for our dogs. So this is where your kind of colorful scraps of paper are going to come in. So I have the choice between some green, hi Heather, and some yellow from my master electrician. I think I'm going to be crazy and go with the yellow here. So what I want to do is do a really thin kind of short strip of colorful paper, and this is just going to be the collar, and I'll show you guys. I'm going to cut one out and I'll show you guys how big it is. It's very small. See how tiny that is? So that's going to be our dog's collar. So I'm going to glue that down and then show you guys what's happening with the collar. So that's what you want to do with your small rectangle. You're going to cut that out. See, I just cut it out of here. I accidentally cut another piece. And once you have it and you're happy with the color and you're happy with the size, you can glue it down in between your dog's neck and his body. Or not his neck, his head and his body. Yeah, so that's what you want to do with that. And then you can do the same thing with other colors for the other dogs. I think I should do one for this dog probably if he's at the dog park with the other dogs. So I'm going to do it in a different color. I'm going to use the green this time, this kind of swampy marsh hunter green. Don't know my greens very well. I'm going to do a smaller one for this guy. Again, if he's at the dog park, it might be confusing to owners if they all have the same color. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm just going to cut a small strip. And it's a little wide, or not wide, it's long. So I'm going to cut this. Do they get tags on their collars too? Oh, that's a really good idea. I think I'll make one. I have a couple of different markers in front of me, so if you would like to do a tag with your collar, which we are totally improvising, you're welcome to go grab a couple other colors of markers if you'd like, or you could use black, or you could use a gray pen, or a blue pen, or a red pen, any color you really want. You can go and get that now while I try and finish off this collar for the other dog, and then we'll make some tags together. So, talking about those different colored markers, I think I'm going to use, let's go with a blue, or maybe purple, because purple and yellow kind of contrast. So I think I'm going to go with like a dark purple kind of color. I've got this one here for the tag on my dog's collar. So for the yellow guy, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at his collar here, and then let's think about kind of a teardrop shape for this first one. So what we can do is create a nice teardrop shape, and that can be his tag. And you can even create a bigger tag and write the name of your dog on it. You are welcome to do that. I might do another one kind of on my other dog, but I might make it into the shape of like a dog bone, or you could do one in the shape of a heart. If I want to do a dog bone, I think I might use red. I'm gonna go with red because it contrasts again with green. And I'm gonna create a dog bone and then I'll show it to you guys. So I did that. You can do really whatever you would like on your dog tags for your dogs. Again, you can write their names on it. I think, should I give my dogs some names? If you have name suggestions, please let me know. We're going to do the sitting dog now. So I have one more scrap of paper here. I have this kind of funky black, white, and orange text. It reminds me a little bit of a, oh, what's that kind of dog? No, it's a cat. I think it's a calico. Kind of reminds me of that. These are obviously not cats, these are dogs. So we're gonna do this, and I'm gonna look at my other dog for reference. So we're gonna do a small, no, not a small, more medium-sized rectangle with whatever scrap of paper you have. So I'll cut that out. So I cut this small scrap here, and I'm going to do a couple others. So I want one as well that is a little bit of a domey shape, kind of like a semicircle, and I'll cut that out so you guys can see. And I want it to be relatively the same width as the rectangle that I just cut out. And that's gonna be my dog's bum. So I'm gonna do a rectangle that's a little bit thinner this time, thinner and longer, and it's gonna be the neck of our sitting down dog. So I'm gonna again cut that out. I'm gonna show you guys. So we have, maybe I will do that, who knows. We have this kind of medium-sized rectangle here. That's our dog's body. And then we have this nice semicircle dome, and that's our dog's bum, so you can sit. And then you have a, you know what, this is more of a trapezoid than anything because it curved in a little bit. But this is going to be our dog's neck. And you can even more attach it kind of like that. Yeah, I like that. So we're gonna do one more piece for our sitting down dog, and that's gonna be the dog's head. So for this, we're gonna kind of think about a cone. Is it a cone? I don't know. I'll show you guys what it looks like, and then it will make more sense as we go. So I have my medium rectangle to be the body. I have a semicircle or the dome to be his bum. And then I have kind of this, whatever this is, I don't know what that is, shape. And then the kind of slopey cone here. So I'm gonna glue these things down. And yeah, okay. So I've glued down my pieces. And then I'm going to add some legs and some ears and a lovely tail to my dog. So I'm going to show that to you guys. Let's do this together. So I think the first thing that we're going to do is give, this is Fifi, correct? We're going to give Fifi some ears. And, what kind of ears do poodles have? I think this looks like a standard poodle, like she's really well built. So I'm going to give her kind of some cute little ears like that. And then we'll give her a nose as well, and we'll do 2 eyes. So she's just sitting, enjoying life. And then I'm going to do some legs here. Oh, those legs are not long enough. And then I'm gonna let her, give her some paws, and I'm gonna do some fur around the paws. Just like that. And then I'm gonna go in and go like that. So there we have, oh, forgot the tail. So we're gonna give her a tail, and I think I'm gonna let her tail just be kind of sitting on the ground behind her. And I'll do a little poof at the end for Fifi there. So from there, we have created 3 lovely dogs, and something that we can do, I'm just cleaning up my materials here a little bit, is that we can create a scene with them. So they could all be at the dog park. Yeah, so I have some colored pencils here. This is optional. I'm just gonna guide a little bit of the drawing. So I have some colored pencils. I think if I want to imagine that my dogs are at the dog park, or you could have your dogs be anywhere in the world. They could be in front of the Eiffel Tower. They could be, I don't know, at a winery. They could be out with their owners. If you like drawing people, definitely draw their owners if you'd like to. But I'm gonna start by taking kind of a green pencil crayon, and I'll bring you guys with me so you can see. And I'm gonna do a horizon here because I want them to all be in the same picture together. And there we go. And I think I want, this guy is Mo, I think. I want him to kind of be coasting down a little bit of a hill. So let's imagine there's another kind of a hill there. And I think Fifi should be on the hill as well. I hope Mo and Fifi don't collide by accident. So Mo's coasting down this hill here. Something that I'm going to do is kind of do a little bit of a shadow underneath here where he's going. So I'm just going to fill that in a little bit. And you're welcome to blend it as much as you would like. I'm just kind of doing a rough sketch. I'm just going to outline this horizon a little bit nicer, a little bit thicker. And I'll do the same with the top one. And then I'm going to do the same thing with these shadows. I'm going to do one for unnamed dog. If you have a name, I would love it, appreciate it. I'm going to fill in some more of a shadow for my gorgeous dog here. And I'll do the same for Fifi. I feel like it should be a little bit darker over here because she's closer to the ground. Awesome. So you guys are welcome to use the same color to kind of fill in your hills or your dog park. I think I'm gonna take a little bit of a lighter green and just go more around the shadows, fill in this. This would be nicer if I was using two hands at the moment to hold down the page. I'm just gonna fill in a little bit. This is up to you guys. And I'll do the same here. You could add some grass. Well, you could add some kind of tall grass. You could add some sky, which I think we'll do. You could add some frisbees maybe. You could have a dog. You could, so these are just some examples of dogs that you could create for your dogs, your dog park, with your cut and stick dogs. You could create one that's kind of running and trying to catch a frisbee or running towards a frisbee. You could create one that is walking on a leash. I think maybe I'll create a nice bush or a hedge. I'm gonna take another green and I'm just gonna create some hedges. I think I'll do one kind of along here. You can do some nice circular motions with your pencil crayons or your markers. Create some nice hedges for the dog park. And you can do as many of these as you'd like. I think maybe I'll do one behind my dog here. I'll do a little bit there. But again, you can add whatever you'd like to your dog park. You can fill in the sky, you can make it a sunrise, you can make it a sunset, you could do some really cool clouds, you could add as many dogs as you would like. They don't have to be sitting, they don't have to be standing, they could be jumping through the air. These are, again, just some ideas, so you're welcome to do whatever you like. That brings us pretty much to the end of our very second Friday's activity. If you have any thoughts, if you have any comments or suggestions, please let me know, drop them in the comments and I'll go through them. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, stay tuned for next week. Okay, bye.